When I was a kid, I would lay on my back and look up at the birds as they flew around chirping at each other. I remember thinking, what a great life they have. All they know is that it's a beautiful day. They find food and just get from one moment to the next. They know nothing about government or having to pay anything to live. They don't worry about bullies or what people will do to them. They don't know that they're in America or that there are even other countries. They don't have to know. All they have to know is how to get through this moment right now. And the next moment will take care of itself. I so badly wanted to be a bird, to not care or even have the knowledge of any abuse in the world, to just be happy and not be afraid of what someone will do to me. I was so convinced by everyone around me that I would never be able to make it in this world, that the thought of starving on the streets haunted me often, even as a child. The idea of only surviving from one moment to the next was such an amazing thing to think about. All the fears of my future dwindled away in that moment. Looking past the tall bushes next to me where the birds danced around and sang, I focused on the blue sky that had a couple white puffy clouds lingering around, just to hang out with me and the birds. Once in a while, a bird or two would fly through the scenery. All my troubles would just begin to fade away as I focused on a whole other world that people forget is even there. A peaceful world where no one gets hurt. I would lose myself in the warmth of the sun. I started to take deeper breaths as my mind began to rest. Everything felt okay. In that moment, I was okay. For that moment, I wanted to live. I could feel the coolness of the grass touching my cheek, surrounding my body on such a warm day. I never wanted to move out of it. Just let this be my bed forever. And then came the time that I had to get up out of the grass. My reality came back to me in such a rush that I became dizzy for just a moment. I looked around me, the cars going by on our busy street out front, not even noticing the other world above us. They forgot it's there because they never look up. The back of the house that I lived in for the moment, that also sheltered a half-aunt that hated me, though I've never done anything to her. I mean, I was just a kid, and a mother that wasn't interested in me one bit. The older neighbor kids that could do whatever they wanted to me because I wasn't protected. The returning fear that I am nothing, nobody, not worth anyone's time or care. That I would die on the streets, and even with that thought, it couldn't be as bad as living with the people that I had to now. Even with those fears lingering above me about my future, I couldn't wait for it. It had to be better than this. I often would wonder if that's what love felt like. The sun warming your skin and the birds living from moment to moment. Is that the peace that love brings? And then I would hope that one day someone would love me, someone to find me. I hoped it so much. It's so lonely in here, in this space, alone. As I grew up, once in a while I would realize that I forgot to look up. Through all the busyness, the dirty streets, and unkept houses around me, I forgot to look up. So I would find a grassy place and lay down to look up at the blue sky again. I would let it take me away from the abusive man I was always trying to get away from, the disappointment of having to break myself down, working 2 jobs to support someone I hated, living through the rumors my mother made up about me because she desperately wanted people to think she was abused. For a moment, as I began to lose myself in the warm sun, the cool grass, the birds chirping nearby, I again thought, I wonder if this is what love feels like. I wonder if love is something that doesn't hurt you, but wraps you up in its arms and chases your troubles away. I wonder if love is really this gentle and feels as peaceful as this. Going through homelessness and watching my children beat down, I fought so hard to protect them, but I couldn't. I tried for them so hard, but there were too many against us, nobody for us. I was of no use to my kids. I couldn't keep them out of harm's way. I couldn't fight those who stole from me and kept us in constant poverty. I knew I was had. Years and years of trying to escape from the inhumane way I was forced to live. Years of betrayal from those who could have helped and wouldn't. I was dying. One child knew me, saw who I was, but I knew she would be okay. Nobody else saw me as I died inside. This lifeless corpse that lingered inside of a shell that still walked around. No one was ever allowed to know who I really was. 'Cause if anyone saw, anyone beside this one child, it would blow away everyone else's stories they had made up about me. This monster, who I don't even know, but they placed my face on him. Not that it mattered anymore. Death was my only escape from them all. I tried everything else, but nothing worked. Death to this shell of a body that instead of walking around as empty as it was, that was now my only escape. I couldn't be used anymore. People called me selfish, that they didn't feel bad for anyone that found this path to be all they had left. My answer to that was, you were the one that was selfish. You couldn't care about anyone but yourself if you tried. That's why things in life don't bother you. As far as feeling bad for people like me, we don't need your pity, nor do we want it. You wouldn't feel bad for a dying baby seal getting his head bashed in. Why would a human be any different? Do you honestly think you are getting back at the dead by showing hate? Do you really think that much of yourself that you think the dead cares what you think of them? Your harsh words are your words. They belong to you, and you should own them, because that is who you are. And that's the world that I don't want to be a part of. That's the world that killed me and bled me out from the inside out. I am only finishing a job that you started. I couldn't look up anymore. I didn't want to see what I couldn't have. I didn't know what it meant to be loved, and I didn't want to wonder about it. It hurt too much. That world was meant for the birds. It wasn't mine to have. The closest I could get to it was to fly, and the only way I could fly was to ask death's help in suicide. I wanted it so bad. It was all I could think of as I heard the all too often words ring through my ears. His words rang through.
I wish you were dead. I still have my gun. It would be nothing to take you into the country where no one would find you. My life would be better off with your brains splattered on the wall.
So it now became a race. I preferred to meet death on my own accord, by my own standings. I wasn't giving him the satisfaction to kill me the rest of the way himself. I knew he would get away with it. He got away with everything else, and he had one of my own babies that would lie for him at any moment's notice. When I thought there was nothing left, and I hadn't looked up in so long, and I was falling apart at the seams, someone came along, and he saw who I was. He saw the dead me inside and was sad at the blood spilt around her. He saw what would make her shine, and he saw the love she had for others and understood the need to die because of the betrayal that left her alone. He saw the real me. Someone saw me. I began to feel that warmth. I felt the cool grass in my face. The peacefulness came across me, and my fears went away. I waited for it to leave me, but it didn't. This time, it stayed. All those times that I wondered what love felt like, I wondered if it were like the sun and its gentle rays. I can tell you it is. It's just like that, only better. If you have wondered, like I always did, it's all you imagine to be, and you get to fly too. I still don't look up, but it's because I don't have to. My life has turned into a dream, and I don't dare look up to have darkness rush back to me again as soon as I stand up. There are people that are angry that I was able to find the one person that could see who I really am. I don't keep their secrets anymore. I don't care that they hate me. Their hate is their own, and they need to own that. I don't have to own that at all. It just was never mine. Not everyone gets a prince, but if you are so lucky to get one, keep him.
And as always, if you like this video, hit the like or dislike. Either way, it helps us to get the interaction. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so that I can invite you back the next time I upload. My new channel just doesn't have very many subscribers, so it'd be great if you joined the team. And as always, we don't get paid to do videos or streaming, so if you'd like to help out, we do have a PayPal tip jar and a wish list from Amazon down below. And of course, I hope to see you again. Bye!